in this stage of the tournament. That is, if there's more than 4 snookers required, it is a concession. Handshakes are being had. The flip of the coin has been done. CHAGAS is here to break off for us, and we are underway at the 2023 Pan American Championship. Welcome, everybody. We're glad that you're tuning in wherever you may find us. It's on the PAPSA YouTube channel for the English commentary, and if you go to the CBBS YouTube page, you will get the Portuguese. Now we'll see how this fares. Charlie did get into town a couple days ago, so he has kind of adapted a little bit, traveling all the way from Vancouver, Canada, so it's been quite a trek for him to come down, but he's been able to get on a practice table, because these tables are looking fantastic. They are the Jacari tables, pretty much the standard of table here in Brazil. It's a nice cue ball there for Charlie. It's nice to get a red and draw first blood, but just didn't get onto color. Real veteran of the game there that knows when he doesn't have a shot, it's good to run and hide and put that cue ball nicely to the bulk cushion. Obviously myself coming from the Vancouver area as well, I'm well versed in Charlie's ability. CHAGAS, I do not know. I haven't got a chance to meet him beforehand, but there are a lot of great top-notch players here in Brazil. They might have a little bit of home field advantage. There's our friends from Canada and America, and even there's some Mexican players in this tournament have traveled south of the equator for this great championship. Taking on this long red. That's a statement shot right there. Just came up a little short on the blue. Wanted to be on the right side of the blue. What we mean by that, obviously, is when your cue ball is more on the bulk side of the blue, you have the natural angle to get back down to the reds. So a lot of the other tables just getting underway here. It's day one. Looks like CHAGAS is just going to clip off. Definitely an important match, this one. Obviously, you like to get your first match on the board in the positive direction, a win there. He's got a good chance to clip off this red and come back up table. He wants to put his cue ball nice and tight to the bulk cushion. This is the result of a good safety shot there by Charlie. He's left that open red to the right side of the pack. Only issue here is where does he find his color afterwards? Now these are best of 3 matches, races to 2. And they actually do have a little bit of a time limit, so they're 2-hour time slots for these matches. So they're saying if you have a decider, it can't start after that hour and a half. If it does, then the match will be taken off and reconvened when a table becomes available. I wonder if Charlie's just going to glance off the brown, maybe get behind the yellow. What's he done? He might have left this right out in the open in the left side of the table. The unfortunate part is for CHAGAS that that cue ball is tight to the bulk cushion. Always tricky when that happens because you're kind of cueing down on the ball, and that always could lead to some unwanted side. He's playing aggressive. He definitely went for it. Problem is he's left a rather tricky red for Charlie. He's going to have to... Well, the black could go into the same pocket. That's just around those 3 reds. So doesn't have to use a lot of pace. Adding the pace makes it a little bit more difficult. Doesn't give the pocket much chance to take it in when it goes faster, that's for sure. But excellent shot there by Charlie because he now is on the right side of the blue as we were talking about earlier. He's got a long red to the green pocket here. Very nicely done there. And all for you youngsters and newcomers there, if you notice, Charlie kept his head down on that shot pretty much until he was ready and knew that that ball was going to fall into the pocket. Very still. The only thing that is moving is his back arm on that pendulum. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. You just want to get in, loosen up that arm. You know, once you start potting a lot of balls, you can really get into rhythm. Just a bit tricky to see the angle where I'm sitting. I'm kind of really flat to the table, shall we say. I'm not high up, so I can't really see the angle as well with our camera. It's not that typical high bird's eye view. But it's a great setup here at the Rio Yacht Club. They're really treating us like kings and queens, all the players, as we do have a female competitor, Simone Lloyd, coming all the way from Toronto, Canada. So it's good to see. Yeah, the bright yellow vests of our referee almost takes you back to the old days in the Crucible when the referees wore those bright yellow blazers. But great to see, great participation behind the scenes with the group here in Brazil. There's a lot of passion for the game, and everybody really wants it to grow strongly. Obviously helping with having a couple players on the Pro Tour. Actually, Igor Figueroa, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, Igor. He is actually in this tournament, has lost his card, so he definitely wants to get back on the tour. So he might be slated as the favorite in this tournament, just as we're in his backyard. He knows what it takes to win. Nice shot with the rest. Didn't want to cannon into that red. This has been a nice 22 and going break for Charlie. Just that made it that more difficult. Ooh, that yellow almost dangerously went into the middle pocket. So with that 22 break, Charlie takes a 24-6 lead in this first frame. Luckily for CHAGAS that red rolled towards the side cushion. It was dangerously going to stay out in the open. I believe they have updated Cloud Snooker's website. That's your great resource for all tournament information. You can see the schedule up there, where your favorite player is in their groups. Obviously with this tournament and in the spirit of keeping it going, tables are kind of rolling on, rolling off kind of philosophy that you have. As soon as there's a table available, they'll get players onto it. But we're happy you're joining us wherever you're tuning in from. Snooker definitely a global event. Played in over 100 countries in this great planet Earth. It is a technical and creative game, that's for sure. Charlie wanted to use that yellow to help him to put that red into the middle pocket. Unfortunately, he's kind of left it out there because I think it's a thin cut for CHAGAS. This will definitely test his eyes. See if CHAGAS can respond. Good angle on this brown to come up for that red that's not the blue spot. Did he give it enough pace? He's having a good look at it. Thought he might have been snookered on that red by the yellow. And now he's coming full-blooded. This is a nice response. Yeah, you're never out of a frame until you're out of a frame. In this game, it's as much as some players can come out of the gate strong. You really got to keep your opponent sitting in that chair. The only game I think that's out there, or sport shall I say, that you really can't do anything as an opponent. You can just watch your player tallying up the score and you can't do anything about it. Look at tennis, it's a lot more reactive. Your opponent hits a shot, you hit one back. Golf, you're kind of playing against the course. You don't really know what your opponents are doing. But as in snooker, you're just watching your opponent potting balls. It's a nice long pot there by Charlie. He's just gonna glance off this yellow, I think, and just get in nice and tight behind the green. Charlie, who's been around the game for a very long time. Actually, way back in 1989, he played in the World Under 21s with our good friends Ken Doherty and Jason Ferguson. So Charlie definitely has the resume to do some damage in this tournament. Fortunately, this is the first time I've met and seen CHAGAS, so I'm not sure his history. But I know that all these Brazilians, they're very passionate about the game, and it's great to see. This is a good opportunity for Charlie. The reds are kind of spaced out. Black and pink aren't really tied up. Commentator's curse. Done it to the fellow Canadian. Sorry about that, Charlie. So 25 for Charlie Brown, 18 for CHAGAS Silva. It's the first frame, best of three. It's the round robin matches. We're just getting underway. This is the first batch of matches here at the 2023 Pan American Seniors Snooker Championship in Rio de Janeiro. This part of the tournament will run up to Wednesday, when the champion of this section obviously will get a chance to play at the famed Crucible Theater in the spring at the World Seniors Championship. And then come Thursday, we'll start up the Open Championship, where you'll probably see a lot of the same players vying for a 2-year card. That's not a great miss there by Charlie. He's left a easy starter there for CHAGAS. Yeah, in the senior event, it is classified as 40 or older. That's the age limit there. Charlie was let off. I'm surprised CHAGAS didn't go for that red in the middle. It's tight, but I felt he could have just floated in and you'd have a mid-range black or pink. Obviously the tough part with these international tournaments, Charlie has no idea what CHAGAS is about, and CHAGAS has no idea what Charlie is. But definitely these guys, once they get on the table, they certainly will find out about their opponent quickly enough. Sorry about that, everyone. Just getting some clarification on what channel we're on. I apologize. I was letting some friends know that we were on Paps's channel, but we're actually on the CBBS. We've got 2 streams going. So 12 points in it and 51 on the table, so still anybody's frame here in the inaugural frame. just really having a good think about it. As that red on the right side, clipping off the left side, just don't know if there's a safe way to come back to bulk. You might run into black or another red. You might just thinly go off this red on the left side of the black, come off two cushions and kind of get his cue ball right back where he is. Oh, he went for the pot and a great, ooh, very lucky there that he didn't go in off, but aggressive shot making there by Charlie. You can't win this game by playing safety all the time. Sometimes you got to grab the reins, dig in, take on a shot full-blooded. It could be a good chance for, well, he's got a little work to do to win the frame, but at least he should be able to get a few more points. This black and this other red above the pink shouldn't be a problem. Really great conditions here in the Rio Yacht Club. A nice cool room that they have in here because as we know, Rio can get quite warm. We're in the springtime down here, so humidity can be a factor sometimes, but in the conditions that they've kept this room, that isn't an issue. Brown almost jumped in. This is a tricky shot if Charlie takes on that red in the green pocket, because obviously if he misses, this red is wide open into the left middle. Played that in a fashion with some bottom that he took that red near the left middle pocket out of the question. He's going to clip on the bottom side of this red and hopefully get behind the black. Just hit the horn and kicked out to leave rather a sitter for CHAGAS. Emily Ferreira in the chats. My Portuguese is limited, but asking if Igor is participating. Sim, Igor participatio. Hopefully that Portuguese is all right. Looks like he's touching that ball. Referee John, I think, is just going to come over and take a look at it. He's shaking his head. Maybe it's not touching ball. So that yellow. So in that situation, obviously, if that yellow had moved, since it's not touching, that would have been a foul. But if it was touching the yellow ball, the caveat obviously in the rules, if you're touching a ball, you can shoot away, and that acts as a contact. So usually you see it a lot more when a cue ball is touching the red, player can elect to just shoot away, and that touching ball is the first contact. But when it is touching a colored ball, you can nominate the ball that it's touching and shoot away, or you can nominate a different colored ball. So it looks like Charlie is in a snooker and just marking the ball. You didn't get lucky on that one. I don't think Charlie's got the angle, but he might be able to come off this red and get behind the black. Obviously just being mindful of cueing over the green. Oh, he's using the pink, very nicely done. Yeah, any piece of clothing, even if some of these gentlemen do have some beards, obviously not long beards like the great Roy McLeod, but anything that touches that cue ball besides the tip of the cue is considered a foul. I've seen it a bunch of times, but I was commentating on an event in Burlington once in Ontario in Canada, and a lot of us were stunned because we didn't realize why Charlie just got up and went back to his seat, but his shirt cuff had touched a ball, and so he called a foul on himself. We really appreciate, and what makes the game great, that people will own up to fouls that they commit. That's why even with flukes, they do happen in this game, but more often than not, you'll see a player raise their hand to acknowledge that it was a fluke, it was an intended shot. But we know our good friend in Canada, the great Cliff Lorburn, achieved snooker nirvana when he had a fluke on his first red, and back in 1983, and we know what happened after that. He was able to make a magnificent 147. For all you new viewers, a 147, when we say that is excellence, that is 15 reds accompanied with 15 black balls, and then running the colors to put up a score of 147 points. Truly a remarkable feat. There's always a lot of debate, which is tougher, the 147 in snooker, a hole-in-one in golf, or a 9-darter. I'd have to say a 147 is 37 shots, so it's a bit to be focused for that long, whereas a hole-in-one is just one shot, and a 9-darter, as it says, is only 9 shots. But a 48-19 lead for Charlie in this first frame. $29 points is the difference, so CHAGAS does need one snooker to tie. The blue is in a nice position. intelligent shot there by Charlie, not forcing the issue there. When your opponent needs snookers, the best thing sometimes to do is put your opponent in one. A good hit there. So this should be first frame for Charlie Brown from Canada. Oh, they're both looking at the scoreboard. It's 3 snookers that he needs. So he can play on. I think it's a 4 snooker concession. Blue ball has come a bit further. The cushion. Has he come enough? As Charlie taps the table, acknowledging the well-placed shot by CHAGAS. Now that will not go back. CHAGAS does need snookers, are required, so he's got to earn them. Charlie was fortunate enough that that cue ball didn't roll by the pink. So that could have led to a free ball situation. Fairly nicely done. He did have that pink there is safe, or a little confusion there on the table, as I think there's a concession there, but Charlie's gonna play on, just saying, you know, he needs a little bit of practice, but Charlie's looking good in this first frame. Yeah, usually, obviously, if you want to concede when your opponent is done at the table. Now there would obviously be a concession there. So Charlie Brown from Canada takes this first frame, best of 3 match over CHAGAS Silva. We'll step aside for a few short moments as our referee John resets up the table and come back with frame 2 of this 2023 Pan American Senior Snooker Championship. And welcome back, everybody. Our first match of the senior tournament, the 2023 Pan American Senior Snooker Championship. David Burney is in the booth with you, guiding you through this wonderful tournament here. We've got Charlie Brown coming from Whistler, British Columbia, Canada. And Chagas Silva makes his home here in Brazil. Not sure exactly where he is from Brazil. This is the first time I've seen Chagas. Would have been nice maybe potentially if last night there was maybe a little kind of get together. It would be nice to see, but obviously we're always pressed for time with these events, as snooker can be unpredictable. You don't know the length of it. Some matches can go quickly, some can go long, but hopefully in the future we can have times where when these tournaments travel far places that the night before everyone can kind of come together and get to know each other a little bit more, as everyone is definitely great friends off the table, but when they're on the table, bitter enemies, as you did probably see with the video there of just before this frame commenced. Charlie went to go get some water and very kindly brought a nice cup of water for his opponent. So we'll see how Chagas responds here. You know, you're never really in the match until you get your first frame, especially with these best of threes. You're really back up is against it, because Charlie just needs one more to get a great victory. But Chagas was going to want to continue this match to go. And with that miss, Chagas, he's left Charlie with a really good opportunity here. Let's see what he can make of it. A little low on this red. I think he's going to have to come up for the blue. Might be able to cannon into that red. Oh. Very nicely done. It's early on. Our referee John was more concerned on that last shot. He wanted to make sure that rest went back to its home, as Charlie Brown took care of business there, but completely forgot about his other duties of respotting the color balls. But both Charlie and John have a good laugh about it. Looks like this red by the pink should go into the middle. He's just going to have to stun off the cushion. That's the experience there. He was down on the shot, something didn't feel right, and he just popped up, recomposed himself, and went back to business. So often you see with the new player, the inexperienced player, that they feel once they're down, they have to take the shot, but it's not the case when you're at the table. You're in control. Just eyeing to see if that red goes past one that's out in the open on the left side. He's got a nice angle on this red to take it into the middle pocket and come back down for the black. So a little result to report on our Portuguese broadcast. They've been covering the Fabano from Brazil and Marnay from Mexico. Fabano has taken that match 2-0. Here on our featured match on the English commentary, we've got Charlie Brown going against Chagas Silva. And we're glad you're here because this is looking really nice for Charlie Brown, that's for sure. Now is he either plant here? Little difficult as there is a bit of space between the two reds. Obviously when two reds are glued together and there's a path into the pocket, makes the plant that much easier. But when there's space between the two reds, just adds another degree of difficulty to an already very difficult game. A lot of these players make it look so easy, but believe me it is not. Just try putting your hand on one of these large 6x12 tables. I wanted to come back a bit more, but hey, he's still at the table. He's still putting points on, so yeah, and these pockets might be, just over 3 inches, and the balls are smaller, so a very, very difficult game. The game of snooker is. I think a lot of people would agree it's the pinnacle of cue sports. Some of our pool friends might disagree, but even pool 8-ball, 9-ball, they have their difficulties as well. So that missed blue brings this break to an end at 38. So a good opening statement in the second frame for Charlie Brown. Chagas just coming around to take a look at the score. So plenty of points on the table. So Chagas is not out of it by any means. It's always tough there, when you're coming, just seeing your opponent put up a good break, not a frame clearing break, but it feels like sometimes you come back to the table and you just want to get back into it and respond quickly. Our good friend Tom Finstead, who hails from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, once told me the key to this game is patience. And Tom, who's a very accomplished player, has probably over 50 maximum, so Tom's not just blowing smoke. He knows the game in and out. So when you hear Tom Finstead speak, it's good to listen to. And Charlie has got a 3-ball plant in here. And he's definitely eyeing it up. The 46-point lead. Knowing his opponent is reeling a little bit, he might be able to take a few more chances. You know, if this was in a decider, he might be thinking otherwise. Definitely wants to get the victory sooner than later, but doesn't want to take any wild chances. So he well, he's opened up the reds, but that unfortunately the pink found the bottom of the pocket. Interesting. Our good friend John, the referee, has only one white glove. So maybe have a talk with him when this frame concludes. I know they're operating the scoreboard and probably feel like they have a bit more control with the bare hand on that remote, but when you're handling those object balls and cue balls, you kind of want to have the white gloves because just the oils of the hand can come off on the ball and just not give a true roll for the balls. But we're all learning as we're going here in the Americas. Obviously the game is very strong over in Britain and in China, but Ajaya Pradhakar, the head of PAPSA, is doing a great job to get everyone in the Americas, North, Central, and South, interested in this great game. What to say, referee John is doing a great job of spotting those balls. That's a good lesson for all you players out there. You know, put that object ball near its spot and then just roll it onto its spot with the finger. Most people just kind of drop it on there, which is a terrible thing to do. Sometimes when they feel like it's rolling off the spot, they use another ball to kind of hammer it down on the table, which will make any room owner just cry with mercy. As those little hammering things can put a little dent in the slate, and then you get a little dip, and then you got a real problem because these tables are definitely not cheap. They are using Jacari tables here, pretty much the Brazilian standard. They're beautiful tables. Talking to some of the Brazilians beforehand, it seems like the Jacari team just got inspired by the design of the British tables. So it's not a new design, but they do great work down here in Brazil. And Charlie's doing some great work here, building his lead in this second frame. So red and a color, and that should have the frame for Charlie. We also have the Canadian national champion here, Jason Williams. He'll be in action later today. Maybe we can get him on the TV table. I'm pretty sure at some point, such a strong player he is, he will be eventually be seen. So that Miss Pink has lifted the difference of 59 points with 59 on the table. A tall task for CHAGAS. He needs to take the following reds with blacks and run all the colors to force a black ball respot. Charlie just needs one red for his frame ball. CHAGAS has just got to know, baby steps. It would be an impressive break if he did it all in one. But if he can just chip away at it, just like a boxer, a few jabs here and there, it doesn't have to go for the uppercut. It's definitely helping Charlie getting these reds down on the ball carrier, takes the black out of play, but thin cut. Charlie just coming around just to take a look at the score. Once again now, CHAGAS has that thin shot again. Tough part is going to be controlling this cue ball. Because if he's not able to get a black, if he's able to get a different color, then he's going to need snookers. He's played that all right. Held nicely for the black. Thin angle. Ooh. CHAGAS needed that. Snookers are required with 58 in it and 51 on the table. There's Mr. Silva. Good player. Like what I've seen from him. A little short in stature, but definitely has to use that rest a lot. But at some point on these large tables, even giants will have to use the rest from one point. The thing I might say with CHAGAS is just a little bit of head movement, kind of on the follow through. Yeah, he just, it's ever so slightly that he pops up a little bit just at the end. He's not skyrocketing up. Definitely, stays very still. That one red is in a good position there behind that pink. That's a saving grace for him because there's always potential of a free ball. Don't think he's got the snooker there. Charlie's just going to push this up table. Silva needs 2 snookers with a 50-point difference and 43 on the table. Ice in his veins right there. Just put it, didn't even need the jaw to help him out, put it right into the bottom of the pocket. So I'm thinking this is going to be probably a concession here. Needs to pull up that red. Nice idea. It might be in a 4 snooker stage. Just looking at the score right now. Yeah, 35 would give CHAGAS 50 points, and that would lead him down 18. That's more than 4 snookers. 4-pointed snookers, obviously they're playing there. Earlier when we were talking about snookers required, they never really say the 7-point snooker because those are very tricky to get, obviously. CHAGAS is fighting hard. Charlie just wants to get this one done and dusted. Don't really want him to be on the table that much longer. He knows this match is pretty much his. And referee John coming to spot the white, but let's understand that there are snookers required, and that's what CHAGAS was just able to let him know. He's left a pretty easy red here. There should be handshakes here. So a good win for the Canadian. I believe there's 5 groups of 8 players. There it is. So Charlie Brown takes this match over CHAGAS Silva, 2 frames to 0. And we will step aside for a few moments and reset this table for our next match coming up on the TV table. Right now I'm not sure who that is, but obviously definitely take a look at Cloud Snooker for all the results, all the scheduling to see where your favorite player might fit in. It's David Burney.